Senator Mackenzie and Senator Bragg as well. Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for attending today. I've seen reports that the Reserve Bank has printed an extra $12 billion in bank notes this year to keep up with demand. Do you have the accurate figure, please?
I do. I can provide you with an accurate figure. Let me just give me one moment. Senator, but yes, that we have printed extra banknotes because there has been additional demand. So I can give you the number up. This number is up between the 16th of March and the 6th of August. We printed $220 million banknotes, worth $12.5 billion. Were issued into circulation. I can provide you a more up-to-date. I don't have the most up-to-date information to hand, but I can provide that.
Okay, if you could, that'd be appreciated. Thank you.
I don't have it quite completely to hand. I may have it before we finish the slide of questioning.
Okay, thank you. That's impressive. The Reserve Bank's written answer to my question on notice from the February estimates included this response. It's reference AET 93, so I'm slightly paraphrasing when I say this. While cash is used less frequently in Australia, it is still widely held for precautionary purposes, and some members of the community rely very heavily on cash in their daily lives. Cash remains an important payment method for older households, those with disabilities, and those living in rural and remote areas where electronic banking may not function reliably. Do you consider the public are voting with their feet and withdrawing cash to get ahead of the cash ban bill?
What we have seen is people taking out increased demand, increased banknotes, as you just highlighted in your previous question. I think potentially mostly as a store of value. That they are. What we've seen it's been particularly around 50s and 100s in particular, mostly 50s actually, and primarily I think as a store of value, particularly in a world where interest rates are as low as they are.
So it's seen there's people have an alternative in cash. People need that alternative. Does the Reserve Bank support withdrawal of the widely criticised cash ban bill and instead support the development of a bill that actually addresses money laundering and tax compliance? In other words, is it time to kill the cash ban bill?
We were part of the Black Economy Task Force and we are comfortable with the recommendations of that.
Item 1.27 of the Economics Legislation Committee's report on the bail-in bill includes this statement, quote, "The Reserve Bank of Australia indicated the information provided by the Treasury to the committee's inquiry was consistent with their views." Is this correct?
Sorry, I'm not exactly sure which report you're talking about at the moment, Senator.
This is item 1.27 of the Economics Legislation Committee's report on the bail-in bill. They did an inquiry on the bail-in bill?
Yep.
It says, "The Reserve Bank of Australia indicated the information provided by Treasury to the committee's inquiry was consistent with their views." Is this correct?
I have no reason to suspect otherwise, Senator. No.
How did the RBA communicate with the committee? Because my office saw no submission.
I will have to take that one on notice, Senator. I did not have direct involvement with this. Michelle, I don't know if you can answer this.
No, I didn't have. I know we had someone on the Black Economy Task Force, but I'm not aware of this particular bill.
Could we also see those could you send me the full comments, please?
The full comments,
Your full comments that you made to the committee.
To the committee?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, the committee on the bail-in bill you're talking about now.
Yes, please.
Correct.
Your views to the committee include this statement: "The Financial Sector Legislation Amendment, Crisis Resolution Powers and Other Measures Act of 2018 Bill did not include a statutory power for APRA to write down or convert the interests of depositors as unsecured creditors of a failing ADI." Is this correct?
Yes, Michelle, you can confirm that. But
yes, Senator, our view is that it does not include those sorts of provisions.
Thank you. The G20 Financial Stability Board's key attributes of effective resolution regimes for financial institutions adopted by Australia in October 2011, states, quote, powers to carry out bail-in should enable authorities to convert into equity, meaning shares, of the bank, in this case, all or parts of unsecured creditor claims. And elsewhere it says that means meaning deposits. We have a clear obligation then under this agreement to provide a bank bail-in mechanism. If the 2018 Act did not do that, where else is that provision?
We have depositor preference, Senator, as you may be aware, which very clearly, and a deposit guarantee. Sorry, we have a deposit guarantee scheme which guarantees bank deposits.
I understand the timing of that doesn't quite back up what you're saying, but let me look at that more closely. New Zealand responded to the Financial Stability Board's instruction to pass bail-in laws with their open bank resolution system. The New Zealand Reserve Bank explains this as follows, quote, if a bank fails, it is placed under statutory management and closed. If losses cannot be covered by shareholder funds, then a proportion of depositors' funds are set aside and frozen for the purpose. Then the bank reopens. That could not be any clearer. New Zealand has a bail-in law. The UK and Canada have the same bail-in laws. So I ask you again, if the Crisis Resolution Powers Act did not establish bail-in laws, where are ours?
Senator, as I just said, we have a depositor protection scheme in Australia here. Michelle, do you want to add anything to that?
No, only that the bail-in laws, that our understanding of the bail-in laws, and I think APRA's understanding of the bail-in laws, is that they apply to certain hybrid instruments which may be bailed in, not depositors. Depositors have depositor preference and also the financial claims scheme. And my understanding, and I think that's a common understanding, is that bail-in does not apply to deposits in Australia.
Okay. I put it to you that it is our obligation under the G20 agreement to conduct a bail-in if a bank fails, that the 2018 Act was specifically written to allow a bank bail-in, and that the wording chosen in the 2018 Act was deliberately obtuse to hide that fact.
Senator, I'd like to confirm we have this depositor protection. You can take this issue up with APRA when they come up later on, but that is the state of play in Australia.
Okay, thank you.